On this Thursday morning, just waiting for the snow to begin falling in earnest. Michelle McDougall will tell us just when that happens and how much we can expect. That's just a few minutes away, but right now we're going to steer our attention to this morning's top news headlines. And there are serious allegations this morning against a teacher in the Elk Island School Division.
1 count each of sexual interference, sexual exploitation, invitation to sexual touching, child luring, committing a sexual offense against a child, and sexual assault.
32-year-old Brett Daniel Middlestead also suspended from his job with the school division. RCMP say the victim is a teenage girl. The alleged offense is taking place between March of 2013 and September of last year.
How can we trust anybody that's a teacher within the province? I mean, we all do our best to vet our people. We do the proper record checks, vulnerable service checks, criminal record checks. We get our information from our priests about references. We do our due diligence.
There's no information right now that suggests that there could potentially be other victims. But again, we can't be closed-minded to that fact either. But as of right now, there's no information to suggest that there's further victims.
At the courthouse,
Middlestead was teaching at the K-9 Holy Redeemer Catholic School. He has since been released from custody on condition that he avoid contact with the victim as well as anyone under the age of 18. Middlestead is due back in court on March 11th. Co-op Taxi says an uncooperative cabbie has been fired after refusing service to one Edmonton woman.
He's like, no, I won't take you. And I asked him why, and he flat out told me that he was refusing me because I live too close.
Cheyenne Workman jumped into a cab outside the Hub Mall around 3:30 one morning. The driver, though, refused to take her the 20 blocks to her home, suggesting it wasn't financially viable for him to do so. So she waited another 15 minutes for the next cab. Co-op Taxi confirming to City News that the driver has since been terminated. It is against city rules for a cabbie to reject a passenger over the length of a ride. Edmonton police have been urging the province for the power to hand out demerit points as a means to combat excessive speeding. However, one local injury expert says the province should actually focus on using points for photo radar. Megan Shaw examines the argument.
On the heels of the city's alarming report on school zone speeders where over 1,000 people were ticketed in one day, head of Alberta's Injury Prevention Clinic is calling on the province to adopt Australia's demerit point system.
They've decided to link points to photo radar so that the registered owner of the vehicle gets points if their car's caught speeding, and if they can't find anybody that was driving the car, say their son or their daughter or whoever, then they have to assume the points themselves.
He's also favorable of Finland's system where ticket amounts are based on salary percentage.
Some people have a lot more of an ability to pay than others, so it impacts their life in a much smaller manner than, say, a poor person who's driving their Ford Focus to work. I'm driving my Benz and I've got lots of money. Speeding and tickets don't mean much of a difference to me.
Councillor Andrew Knack thinks ticketing based on income could get too confusing. He does, however, agree with the idea of demerit points, but says it oversteps council's boundaries.
So we can't, as council, which is the frustrating thing. I think there would absolutely be desire to see that, especially in school zones, but that would require a provincial change.
Alberta Transportation says demerit points aren't attached to photo radar because it's impossible to know who's driving the vehicle. Megan Shaw, City News.
And of course, we want to hear from you as well. We have posed the question on our Facebook page whether or not you support that concept. A teen race car driver is encouraging his peers to pump the brakes on distracted driving. 20 to 30% of all collisions are as a result of distracted driving. Parker Thompson now traveling across the province, hoping to reduce those numbers. The 16-year-old Red Deer racer says he never takes his eye off the track, and he says it should be no different when it comes to highways. Alberta's transportation minister says Thompson teaching students a very important lesson.
So if we can get through to the kids, they'll get through to the parents, and the best way to get through to the children is have somebody speak to them that they can relate to, and Parker's doing an excellent job of that.
It's amazing how fast things happen, and you wouldn't even understand it, but time is essence, and when you're texting and driving and you have your eyes off the road, traveling at high speeds, it is unbelievably dangerous.
The current fine in Alberta for distracted driving is $172. It appears the province is doing a better job of helping cancer patients and their families through the sometimes daunting healthcare system. Alberta Cancer Foundation's Rural Patient Navigator program has increased patient satisfaction by 15%. A review of the initiative says 5,000 people have received support from 15 registered nurses province-wide. As navigators, they coordinate and centralize care for patients and their loved ones. Jessica Frank's mother died of cancer last year. She's thankful that there was a nurse to help her along the way.
Our navigator was there to do anything in her power to be there for us, whether it was as a support, someone to talk to, someone to, again, make appointments. It didn't matter. She was an incredible asset to our family.
There's so many providers that are seen when a patient has a cancer diagnosis. We become the one central person that they can phone if they have questions about anything within their journey. We can find answers to. It's not necessarily do we know, but we can find answers.
Health Minister Stephen Mandel praising the program Wednesday, but added there are still several challenges ahead. Well, bargain hunters are just getting up right now in an effort to cash in on some deals as Target begins liquidating its stock in all of its 133 Canadian stores. Prices are expected to be cut by up to 30% when doors open this morning. That's 9 o'clock across the city. Target expects to be closed permanently by May. And we checked in with our friends at City News Toronto, Michelle McDougall, to find out stores are open there now to find